Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CoculesNation. My name is TK Cocules. I'm the founder and the director for Cocules Media and the CoculesNation. So, if you want to use an Ollama front end that does not require something like Open WebUI, well, let's do Ollama Serve. Now, you may be wondering if I will end up doing something like the command line interface. Not at all. There is a competitor to OpenWebUI. It's called AnythingLLM, which is essentially an Ollama front end, but it can be a front end for many different services, including but not limited to ChatGPT, of which I refuse to use. I've got all this stuff over here. And yeah, one of the things you can do is you can actually run any of these. I have AnythingLLM, but also I can run Ollama or LM Studio if I wanted to, but likely I'll just be using Ollama. The default model for me is going to be Qwen 3, which is an Apache 2.0 licensed deal. Let's see if I can do this like so. I want to see the license for Qwen 3. Qwen 3, it's on GitHub, which should be fine. I don't see their license though. That's concerning, but it is open source. That I can confirm. I just need to find it. Maybe this here. Holy cow, that's a lot. We got Qwen 3. There's Qwen 3 Coder. That's not on Ollama yet. Surprise, surprise. It's not even that. QWQ apparently is pretty good, I heard. Qwen 3 4 billion instruct version 2507. I guess I'll do this one, because I am using a 4 billion parameter model. Now, where do you find... Here it is, the license, Apache 2.0. Because that is pretty darn obvious. It is, in fact, free software, according to the Free Software Foundation, because Apache 2.0, well, Apache 2.0, which is right here. It is compatible with version 3, but not compatible with version 2. There are some requirements that are not in that GPL version. These include certain patent termination and indemnification provisions, basically meaning you decide not to take responsibility for what people do with a piece of software. It is a good thing, which is why they recommend Apache 2.0 for substantial programs over lax permissive licenses. There are some under MIT license, though we don't know exactly what licenses MIT uses, but it is actually permissive, which is actually pretty lax. But that is something to keep in mind. So that's my default Ollama model. Of course, you have your standard Ollama shenanigans. Vector database, I am just using LanceDB, which is a 100% local type deal. But I could do Chroma, I could do Pinecone, I could do a couple of these. But I will just use LanceDB for now. There is no configuration for it. For the embedder, I am just using Nomic Embed Text 1, a 139 megabyte model for any sort of deal. You could run an embedder on Ollama as well, though I could try to find an embedder. Let's go ahead and do ollama.com. And then if I do embedding, of course, the most popular one is Nomic Embed Text. What's actually the newest that we have? Nomic Embed Text version 2 MOE. MOE, well, this is essentially your thinking process, or mixture of experts, I think. That's what I thought. This is basically using a lot. There's a Qwen 3 embedding for 4 billion. It provides a range of text embeddings models of various sizes, including up to 8 billion. How big is the 4 billion is 2.5 gigabytes. This is an embedding. It's for text embedding. Building upon the dense foundational models of Qwen 3, there's a range of text embedding models and sizes. This series inherits the exceptional multilingual capabilities, textual understanding, reasoning, and foundation. If I took a look at Qwen 3, there's a vision language model, Qwen 3 VL, Qwen 3 Coder, but that's like 30 billion. I actually don't want any of that. Something that supports tools. Okay, we do have that. I could do the 8 billion parameter model, which is the latest. That is 5.2 with 40,000. But I actually went 4 billion because... But let's just do enough of that. Let's just do a test here. You know what? Actually, I'll just make a demo workspace. So let's see what we can do here. Chat settings should be fine. I will, of course, use Olama. And I could probably I'll just do Quen 3. We've got this stuff over here. And then agent configuration, that's going to be for every single agent. So that's fine. However, part of the process, I like using duck.ai. So we'll go into here and then customize the responses, professional responses for me. And we can do, say, I guess no, not a writer, an editor, I think, would do the trick. My role is as a writer, but I happen to be a professional too. I'll just do as a creative writer, have it ask clarifying questions, and here it is. So I'll just copy that, and then place this here, like so. So I do have it set up for these purposes alone. So that should be fine and dandy. We can update the workspace, and then let's go into here. Now keep in mind, I am going to be using, oh, I didn't even save it. That's okay. I can actually use Falcon on this one because I can probably use agents with Falcon in particular. I have the 3 billion Falcon model. Now, I think what I'm going to want to do is have it give an outline of something. So I will go ahead and use the markdown that the OpenAI guys use. I'll just need to change a couple things. So, of course, we're going to give it its role. Oh, wait, I don't think I need that. So instead, I'm going to do, you know what? I have something I can use here from HubSpot. Let's do an objective. All right, so in using the roses template, I am going to use this. I already gave the AI its role, so I'm not going to be using the role thing here. This is something very similar, very, very, very similar, in which I happen to be pulling some shenanigans here too. Let's go ahead and do the scenario. However, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And then, let's see. You know what? Let's actually do this for my former editor, Sokio. So, all right. So we've got that, right? That should be fine. Then we need an expected solution. And then for the expected solution section here, this is for business applications. Okay, so we have all of this here. It should be 32 or way under 32,000 tokens. So let's take a look-see here. I'll see what we can do. Uh-oh. I will copy that. And I think a better idea is gonna be using Quen. I usually do pretty much better with Quen here. I'm just helping Sokio out, I hope. So we'll just go ahead, go into the workspace chats, and delete this. I don't need that nonsense. There's got to be an easier way to do that in this particular thing. So let's do this again, but this time using Quen 3. We should now be using the mixture of experts technique right over here. That should be fine and dandy. Let's see how that's going to work. Have a plot outline. That's for sure very interesting. And even the AI said, your request was exceptionally well structured. Quen, did you realize I literally went ahead and did exactly this using the roses template? I don't know why you did that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Although, apparently, that is just... That's not what I was looking for here, but it did okay. I mean, that's basically how this sort of thing works. That's definitely for sure. But yeah, I think I will probably want to do something by this sort of thing. Maybe what I can do is have Sokio use that for his next Fedi Raimo challenge then, because he did participate in the Fedi Raimo in 2025. You can take a look at this leaderboard here he sent over to me. It's actually pretty cool what he was able to do. But yeah, otherwise, that is anything LLM in a nutshell. I will probably have to go ahead and keep that will definitely work. But that's basically how anything LLM works. I am going to have to end this video for today, though. Thank you, and good night.